Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 hardest dance moves to pull off.
Gotta dance.
For this list, we'll be looking at the most complex maneuvers from all genres of dance. What move looks hardest to you? Put on your dancing shoes and leave us a comment below. Number 20. Irish Step.
According to Chandler, what phenomenon scares the bejesus out of him?
Michael Flatley, Lord of the Dance!
Great Irish step dancing doesn't just scare the bejesus out of Chandler Bing. It can also instill fear in any dancer trying to master the amazing ability to have one's legs flail about as if independent from one's body. From the rigid placement of the arms to the surprising amount of strain put on your butt muscles, this quote-unquote flailing takes so much more skill and practice than most people probably assume. The truth is, most of us aren't going to be the lord of this dance, but that just means we have to appreciate it even more when someone is. Number 19. Straight leg scorpion / needle. This is a very impressive extension, to say the least. It basically involves doing the splits while standing on one leg and holding the other leg in the air behind your head.
She's gonna reach over with her other hand on the outside, and as she starts to walk her hands down toward her knee, she's gonna extend fully and try to look straight up at that. Wow, I'm impressed.
This is one of those moves where people that can do them think they're pretty easy. Just look at how many versions of the Do a Needle Fast tutorials there are online. However, while the trained and flexible might call it simple, the amount of work and dedication it takes to get to that point puts it on our list.
You can't do it all today, but you can do it. You just need to have patience and persistence in the practice needed to reach your goal.
Number 18. Devil's Elbow.
What if you don't have muscles to do that?
You have muscles to do this.
I don't have any.
Every girl has muscles to do this.
Try to do this move, and you could easily assume it was crafted up by the devil himself. But alas, it wasn't. A brutal pole dancing maneuver, it was created by dance instructor and multiple title winner Carly Hunter. Interestingly, she came up with the name because of how much it hurt when she first began learning it. And we don't doubt that at all, given that it requires you to hold onto the pole in the crook of your arm as you spin around. Our arms feel bruised just watching it. Number 17. Worm. There's always at least one person that breaks out the worm at a wedding, and even Katy Perry couldn't contain herself during one guy's audition on American Idol.
South Central does it like nobody does.
But just because everyone and their brother does it, doesn't make it easy to execute, especially well. Getting the proper exaggerated body flow without smashing your face into the floor or hurting yourself isn't as simple as most people may think.
Pretty funny, huh? Here, down, alright? So you want to exaggerate it. Here. That's your worm.
So learn the technique and practice, and you could be the star of your next party, rather than the star of an embarrassing YouTube fail video.
Bang it, baby, bang it, baby, bang it, baby, bang it, baby, bang it, baby.
Number 16. Pot stirrer.
Can you, dance at all?
Yeah, I can dance.
Not to be confused with Joey Tribbiani's hysterically bad stirring the pot, the pot stirrer requires skill, training, balance, and practice. Joey's move basically sees his arms and hips awkwardly moving some air around. But our pick features a dancer in a crouched position being stirred around by their partner at a feverish pace. It's like watching an amazingly athletic and focused human swizzle stick. It's impressive on its own, but imagine having to get up after said spinning and jump right into more dancing. We're dizzy just thinking about it.
I have to get that, but no.
Number 15, Samba roll. Often, if a dance maneuver doesn't involve obvious athleticism and/or crazy strength or flexibility, it isn't seen as being that difficult.
Uno, dos, tres, Lego!
Of course, any dancer will tell you that looks can be deceiving, and the Samba roll is a perfect example of that. It's defined as a move in which, quote, two dancers turn together with their arms stretched out. That may sound easy, but it isn't.
We have to really coordinate our bodies together, keeping the lady on the right side of the man. And on top of that, I'm bending backwards while the lady's bending backwards, which means I'm on the inside of the curve, and so it's really pulling the lady out of her feet.
It requires a tremendous amount of coordination as well as a deceiving amount of flexibility and balance in order to maintain the proper positioning. But wait, there's more. Your samba rhythm and hips will also be put to the test with the Botafogo and Volta steps.
So you can see we have bouncing action, a circular hip action, and calf walk.
Number 14, squat dance. A classic in Russian and Eastern Slavic dance, this complex move requires the performer to remain in the squatting position while alternately kicking out each leg. And it's as hard as it sounds. The balance and core strength required to maintain the proper positioning while your legs fly out from underneath you are made evident immediately. Needless to say, the untrained tend to fall right on their backside before the first kick is even finished. And as if squatting and kicking in one place wasn't hard enough, try doing it while moving forward. Number 13, multi-spin.
I want a clean double. I'm sorry, I thought there was enough music for 3. I mean, wouldn't it be better if we all did a triple?
From salsa to ballet to Michael Jackson, spinning is a popular dance move used by many.
Do a dance on the floor in the round, baby.
And to do it correctly requires impressive balance and the ability to maintain focus as your surroundings fly around you. Learning to maintain the right positioning and spotting your turns, aka moving your head to keep a specific point in your sights, is key.
It's tricky, but you find that stationary thing in front of you, whatever it may be, a dot on the mirror, a friend that's not moving, whatever, so a clock on the wall. You lock in and keep your eyes on that spot.
Mastering one spin takes a little work, but mastering the ability to do multiple in a row, going round and round like a record player, that takes the difficulty level up a notch. Number 12, one-footed wing. In tap, a wing is a 3-part move that involves scraping the side of your foot out, brushing it back in, and then ending with a flat, full tap using the balls of your feet.
You want to relax your ankles so they're nice and loose. Don't keep them really tight, because otherwise you won't get that brush back in part. That's the hardest part, is sound number 2. So ready? We have jump and a wing. My weight is even. Yes!
As with many tap maneuvers, including the 3-sound ripple, it's harder than it looks. But it's nothing compared to a one-footed wing, which involves doing it all while standing on one leg. And what about leaving the ground altogether with the impressively difficult Irish dance move known as the birdie? It's not for the faint of heart.
The dancer simply stops after achieving the birdie position.
Number 11, arabesque. On the surface, this might seem like a rather simple ballet position, with the dancer standing on one leg and extending the other in the air behind them. But simple doesn't always equate to easy. Not to mention the fact that there's a definite difference between a good arabesque and a great one.
It's not about flexibility. Doesn't matter if you are a string being and can do the whole lift your leg and wrap around your head. If you don't have the back strength and you don't have hip strength, it's not going to work at all.
Achieving the latter is something many performers continually strive for, even years into their careers. When perfected and incorporated into a full routine, it's absolutely enchanting. Plus, the move can provide an important snapshot of a dancer's grace and technique, which says a lot. Number 10. Paddle and roll. Some people think that tap dancing is easy and involves nothing more than stomping around with special shoes on. But they couldn't be more wrong. It's actually much harder than it looks. Look no further than the paddle and roll to see what we mean. When done slowly, it looks like some basic heel digs, taps, and front foot slaps. In other words, nothing too complicated.
All my weight is down, my waist on the left side. I'm gonna go dig to the floor. I unlock my knee, spank, step, and then a heel.
But then you see what it's supposed to look like at full speed, and easy is the last word that comes to mind. Also in this realm is the shuffle slap up changes. For both moves, the rhythm, syncopation, and speed present challenges to overcome.
Okay, make sure you get all those beats out. One more time. And they are your shuffle supper changes.
Number 9. Cabriole. This is just one of many difficult ballet moves. Imagine extending one leg out, then jumping into the air, bringing the other one up to it, and thus pushing it further up. Then, try to land back on your supporting limb in a steady manner.
Cabriole tendu plié. Cabriole tendu plié. Cabriole. Ah, tu vois, c'est pas évident.
As the natural tendency is to bring the initially elevated leg back down, perfecting this move is a whole lot harder than you may think. Once mastered, though, it's a truly beautiful sight.
I changed it a little. Could work.
You can also try to take on double cabrioles afterward if you're feeling bold. We can only assume they're twice as hard, but it's worth it. Number 8. Headspin. The headspin is most associated with breakdancing and b-boy culture, but the move has seemingly existed for decades, as evidenced by the 1933 film Wild Boys of the Road.
That much!
While some dance moves fool you into thinking they're simple at first glance, this one looks as hard as it is. For most of us, just standing on our heads is difficult to achieve, so the prospect of incorporating spinning is daunting, to put it mildly. The balance, core strength, and concentration needed to spin without falling over or getting ridiculously dizzy is endlessly impressive. Now imagine ending the move with a freeze, just because you can. Number 7. The monkey flip. The monkey flip is a move that most experienced breakdancers probably have in their arsenal. And while it's pretty standard and easy once you get it, the learning process can be intimidating.
Trust me, there's one hand on the floor. As long as you have that, you'll be safe, right? As long as you keep going back. Follow your hand.
Basically, you start by putting a hand on the ground behind you while crouched. You then use it to flip yourself onto a handstand and then back over onto your feet.
Right hand and jump. Go. Now, from that point onwards, what we want to do next is we want to keep our body straighter.
It's definitely a great way to transition up from the floor, but throwing yourself backwards on one hand and trusting you won't come crashing down is a fear you have to overcome for this one.
Get comfortable with it. Make sure you clean up first, and then you're gonna execute it in front of people.
Number 6. Penché. The francophiles out there likely know that the word penché translates to bent over. And that's exactly what this ballet move entails. But as you probably guessed, there's a lot more to it than just that. Almost anyone can bend over, but doing so on one leg while the other is at a 90 to 180 degree angle is a whole other story.
You have to release the hips a little bit, send them away from you, elongate, right? Not here, and try and go down, send them backwards, and if you're in the center, look out.
As is often the case with ballet moves, the penché demands that the person executing it possesses balance, flexibility, power, and grace. In other words, it requires time and training.
And I mean, you could practice that over and over. So in the center, if you find that they're not quite working or your balance isn't quite right, taking it back to the bar and just using the pinky finger is the best way to regain it.
Number 5, Grand Adage. The Grand Adage doesn't just involve one move. That would be too easy. Instead, it employs a series of them during a selection of a ballet. It's part of a routine, often the pas de deux, in which you're required to make slow and deliberate movements with leg lifts in each direction. The dancer must be in complete control of their body at every stage, employing strength and balance to make the gestures appear smooth and seamless. To say the concentration and muscles required to pull this off don't come easily is a serious understatement. Number 4, flair. The flair can be seen in gymnastics as well as breakdancing, having found a perfect place in both worlds, though its spelling varies between them. Gymnasts can perform the move during floor routines, but the maneuver's true power is on display when they utilize the pommel horse. Watching their legs swing in circles never gets less mesmerizing.
This is a taller gymnast, just built for this event. He is so elegant.
The strength required to hold your torso up is one thing, but the constant swirling takes things up several notches. While breakdancers obviously don't use a pommel horse, they've created some amazing variations as well. Just take a look at the air flare. Number 3, Grand Jeté. When people think of the beauty and grace of ballet, they're likely to imagine dancers doing grand jetés. The move involves leaping off the ground, extending one leg in front with the other hovering parallel to the ground. As if doing the splits on the floor wasn't already hard enough, this move basically requires you to do one in the air.
We don't sweat on YouTube. Lisa. Beautiful.
To get it right, one has to muster up enough height to be able to fully extend their legs, all while maintaining an upright and strong position with their torso. As they say in French, it's grand difficile.
Once you get more strength and build more muscles, you'll be able to make a bigger and higher grand jeté. So it takes a lot of practice and a lot of strength to make your position very high and correctly aligned.
Number 2, fouetté. Don't be fooled into thinking this is as easy as doing a simple spin or pirouette.
Fouettes are definitely all about the supporting side. So as you're fouetting, think of more of the supporting side rather than the working leg.
A fouetté is even harder, as it involves the dancer using their working leg and moving it in order to whip themselves around on each turn. Nailing the timing and balance is deceptively tricky, especially when you see someone like Sharon Weiner in Swan Lake. She's incredibly elegant and actually makes doing 32 of them in a row look easy. Yet, if you ask anyone who knows anything about ballet, they'll tell you that fouettés are not for the faint of heart. we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. One-handed chair flare. A number of breakdancing moves begin on the ground and involve spinning your body. There's the windmill, in which your upper back generally maintains contact with the ground. There are also taisuke criticals, named after b-boy Taisuke, where he launches into the air, barrel rolls, and ends up back on 2 hands. But the one-handed chair flare undoubtedly reigns supreme in its complexity. You're essentially throwing yourself into the air with one arm and doing a 360-degree spin with your body before landing on that same limb. And try not to look absolutely terrified in the process. If you figure this move out, you can consider yourself a real pro.
You guys should be practice this first, then double from air chair, yeah. Please practice first.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.